This is St. Louis Cardinals baseball. And tonight, the road trip continues in Milwaukee. The roof is closed, a rainy night outside. It's the St. Louis Cardinals and the Milwaukee Brewers. Jim Hayes is here. That's the Cardinals Hall of Famer, Jim Edmonds. I'm Dan McLaughlin, and welcome to Cardinals baseball. The Cardinals really need a good start this evening from Carlos Martinez.
Yeah, this game's all about pitching, and right now we need the guys to get in to the 6th and 7th inning to give this bullpen a break. These guys have been throwing a lot of innings and been struggling as of late.
You look at the matchup between the two teams, very similar until you get to the bottom, and that's what Jimmy's talking about. The 4.33 ERA for the bullpen of the Cardinals, meanwhile 2.78 for the Milwaukee Brewers. So when you come to Milwaukee, you got food on the grill, you tailgate, you have a little fun before that first pitch, and that's what's happening now. We've got baseball, and it comes your way next. brought to you by Budweiser. Wherever legendary MLB moments happen, Budweiser will be there. By Chevrolet, the #1 selling brand in the St. Louis area. Find yours at your Mid-America Chevy dealer. And try the $4.99 Jack's Spicy Chicken Club Combo with toasted sourdough. New from Jack in the Box. Big series starts tonight. The St. Louis Cardinals, the Milwaukee Brewers. Baseball is coming up. Along with Jim Edmonds, I'm Dan McLaughlin. Jim Hayes is with us as well. The roof is closed tonight as we have rain outside. Very cool temperatures here in Milwaukee. Quite a change of pace from this time a week ago in St. Louis. It has been very nice. A look at Mike Matheny's lineup tonight. Matt Carpenter, Tommy Pham, and Jose Martinez. Marcell Ozuna, Yadier Molina, Jed Jerko, Harrison Bader, Jairo Munoz, and the pitcher batting ninth, and that's Carlos Martinez. First pitch by Brent Suter is driven out to center. At the wall, one pitch, gone! Way out of here to center. One pitch, 1-0.
Welcome to the game.
Not a bad start, huh?
Holy moly. Don't blink.
And a strike to Tommy Pham. A leadoff homer by Carpenter.
Talk about Suter come out and working quick. Barely got the lineup in, and the next thing you know, the first pitch is coming, and then there it goes.
Those are his season numbers. You better not blink. And a strikeout of Tommy Pham. Home run number 13 for Carpenter, RBI number 31.
Just a great swing by Carpenter. Just be ready to go. First pitch, he threw it right there, and he made a nice pass at it. That's a great way to start off the game.
Woo. Here's Jose Martinez, third place hitter for St. Louis. You know, a lot of times pitchers will try to just sneak in that first pitch against Carpenter too. He goes so deep into counts. There's a look at the Hyundai pitch arsenal for Brent Suter. Now time is called, and that may be something the Cardinals do more of tonight than any other night with Suter, who works extremely quick.
He's going to go in there and he's going to try and throw strikes, obviously, but he also is working quick to get you off your game to make pitches like that. And that's why you got to slow him down. You got to think. You got to be ready to get in the box and be ready to hit.
Here's an 0-2. Just trying to think today of the fastest workers I've seen, and I can't think of anybody that's faster than this young man. He is lightning quick on the mound. He gets it and goes, and hey, from a defensive perspective, the players, they probably love it. There's a swing and a miss by Martinez, now shaking that arm. Remember, he had that collision at first base yesterday. Back-to-back strikeouts after the homer. Defensively, the Brewers around the horn, presented by Dobbs. Thames, Kane, and Yelich. Shaw, Sogard, Villar, Aguilar on the infield. Manny Pena behind the plate. Here's Marcell Ozuna, hitting .283 with 10 home runs. And he's now driven in 40. So Suter gets an extra day of rest because of yesterday's rainout for the Brewers in Pittsburgh. He's had a couple of starts against the Cardinals this year and a record of 1-0. Ozuna hits it sharply, but into the shift. The first pitch of the game and a home run. Matt Carpenter with number 13. Carlos Martinez to the mound. Cardinals have the lead. It's now 1-0 as we move to the home half of the first. Cardinals really, Jimmy, trying to get a bounce back start and get him back on track, and that's Carlos Martinez, his 12th start of the year.
Yeah, definitely. He got to get back and establish that fastball, establish the strike zone. And I'd like to see him work deeper into the games. Obviously, keep himself around long enough to earn some more wins and keep the team in the game. I figure if he's the ace, right, you want him in the game as long as possible.
Here's a lineup that'll face a lot of lefties. Thames, Yelich, and Kane. Then Shaw, Aguilar, Villar, who's a switch hitter, Sogard, Pena, and the pitcher Suter. It's funny how the game has changed. Matt Carpenter, a leadoff man for the Cardinals. Eric Thames, a leadoff hitter for the Brewers. that man is put together. Cardinals really haven't seen much of him this year, for the exception of beginning of the season. Then he was hurt, missed considerable time, nearly 2 months. And the 1-1. On a hop to second baseman Jed Jerko. One away. I know you've been thinking about this a long time. Tim was doing it yesterday, but it is our Toyota keys to the game.
Tim was on it yesterday, but I've got what we just talked about right there. Pound the strike zone, throw strikes, establish the fastball in the strike zone, and let his other stuff work for him to get the outs. And then I think for me, home runs are great, but they only come once in a while. I'd love to see them do the little things to get a run here and there, and then that creates an opportunity to start winning those 1-1 games and not losing the 1-run games, and give you a little bit more offense during the course of the game, and then start adding up to bigger run totals.
Christian Yelich at the plate leads the Brewers with a .296 average. Ozuna, Stanton, and Yelich all in the outfield for Miami a year ago. Like the pace here of Martinez.
Both of them, I like it. Keep the game going, keep it moving, throw your strikes, have some confidence in your abilities and your team.
The 2-1 pitch. 2-2.
Crazy that, like you just said about Miami, the 3 guys in the outfield on 3 different teams. It'd be okay if you said that about 3 random guys, right? Get released, one guy gets traded, another guy, you never know what happens. Just 3 studs.
Absolutely. And a base hit into right field. The Cardinals defensively tonight. Ozuna, Pham, and Bader in the outfield. Around the horn presented by Dobbs. Carpenter, Munoz, Jerko, Martinez on the infield, and Yadier Molina behind the plate. Lorenzo Cain swinging a hot bat his last 13 games. A .352 average, a home run, and he's driven in 8. Signed a 5-year deal in the offseason as a free agent to come back to Milwaukee. He has been the primary leadoff man for the Brewers. Ryan Braun not in their lineup, dealing with what has always been the case with him last 5 years or so, a sore thumb. So Cain drops from the leadoff spot to the 3rd position in the lineup. He's a good player.
He is. I like him a lot. He's one of those guys when I come into town that I go try to say hello to. I like the way he plays the game.
A ball and a strike. National League wins above replacement leaders in 2018, and Cain 3rd on that list. Nolan Arenado, Freddie Freeman, and Trey Turner. Room on the right side of the infield. Yelich does have 9 stolen bases. Well, the players, Jimmy, just rave about this ballpark to hit in. They love the backdrop.
The only negative about this ballpark is when the sun is at a funky time of the year, and you get into about that 3:30, 4 o'clock game.
Ooh, they may have gotten them.
That sun comes through those windows a little bit. But you know, I played here 1 year, and I don't remember it ever being that big of an issue. It seems like it's just this small window of time, and it's a big issue. And most of the time, you're in and out of here before it really takes a big effect. But this is a great place to play. As long as the field stays dry as far as the moisture. You know you're playing every day, and you know you have good weather. I love it when they close the top, just play the game. Something to be said for knowing as an athlete that you're going to go to work and compete every day when you wake up.
Really a 50-50 call, I bet, there for Mike Matheny early in the game to potentially challenge. Into right, Bader racing in, and Yelich stays put. At second base, runners at first and second, and it brings in Travis Shaw. Well, Shaw has been out since Sunday after tweaking his wrist, and back in there tonight. The huge batter's eye, though, that Shaw and others talk about. They love it here at this ballpark.
And even though it's cold today, but through, I think, April and May, and even sometimes in June, the ball still carries. For some reason, when the people get in the ballpark and the roof is closed and the windows are closed, get a little bit of warm air through here and the ball really carries.
And a ball outside. Shaw with 14 home runs. He's driven in 45 and batting .246.
This guy's got some pop.
And the 1-0. Chopped foul. Travis Shaw in a deal that has worked out very well for the Milwaukee Brewers. Big guy, 6'4", 230. Breakout season a season ago. It's a ball and a strike. One and two the count.
So you see this team stacked with a lot of lefties today. That pitch right there is the equalizer. He has a good cutter today. That is going to eat those lefties up. And then as soon as he gets their attention with that pitch, he's got that changeup to go with that too. So I don't mind when you see a guy like Martinez getting lefties against him, because he's got such great stuff. Most guys don't. They don't have that arsenal that he has.
Late swing and a strikeout.
And that's what I'm talking about right there. You get a couple cutters inside, you get him a little conscious of getting jammed, and then you got 97 up and away. So everything that he has, he doesn't really have to worry about left or right when he's in the game.
His last three starts, he has been erratic. At least 5 walks in those games. Velocity, when he came back against Miami off the DL, that velocity was down, and so far tonight that has not been the case. So hopefully he's back to 100%. Since April 19th, Aguilar has hit 14 home runs. And that's all of them that he's hit, and he's tied for first in the National League in homers since that time, April 19th. Pulls it foul. One of the best starts of the year for Carlos Martinez was here. It was April 4th. He was 2 outs short of a complete game and a 6-0 win. Then on April 10th, he pitched against Milwaukee. That was a 5-3 win.
Nice memory you have there.
Thought he was going to get it, and then it was an error late in the game on Jairo Munoz, cost him a double play, and pitch count was up. Got him out. High fly ball, left center at the wall, and it's short of the wall, and it's still in play as Ozuna was scaling the wall. And a couple of runs will score. Aguilar thinks it's a home run. It looks to be a double, and now a 2-1 Milwaukee lead.
I don't really know what happened there, Danny. It looked like that ball was going to get out. I didn't think he hit it enough to be a home run. We know how the ball carries in here.
Essentially, Ozuna, it's like you overrun a ball.
Yeah, I think he lost it too. Yeah, he took for granted he thought it was going to be a home run. That's the thing about playing the outfield. Sometimes you really can't tell how hard the ball's hit off the bat. He gets up on the wall, and then the ball lands right there where he probably could have been standing. It would have hit him right in the head.
Wouldn't have had to jump, certainly not scale the wall, and now it's a 2-1 Milwaukee lead. Martinez should be out of the inning.
Yeah, it was definitely a mistake right there. I mean, no way around it. I mean, you ask him, I'm sure he would have played it differently, but sometimes when you get into these ballparks and think about how the ball carries here, you kind of get a little excited and think everything's going to be a homer.
Two balls, no strikes on Jonathan Villar. 3 hits in the inning.
Ball stayed up there a long time, didn't it?
It sure did. Makes me wonder that maybe he lost it.
I was thinking the same thing. If you look around right now, too, even from up here, a little different view than you're used to.
You go back with, and you would know better than I, but you go back essentially having an idea of where it may be dropping, and if you lose it, you say, well, it's going over the wall, and I'll scale it. Maybe I can pick it back up.
And that's a bad shot for what I'm looking at. But when you look up there, that roof is gray. By no means did he lose that ball because of the roof, but when you're used to looking up there in dead black of night, and then you look up there and you see a bunch of stuff, yeah, you could definitely lose it in a hurry. Sometimes you can't take that for granted when you go into a new ballpark. It's like going into those domes in Minnesota in the old days, and that's a better view. You can see the different colors. It's a little darker in our picture than it is actually out here on the field, but you have to kind of pay attention to that when you go to a new stadium or when you're in batting practice, because it is definitely a different look. And when you're used to looking up and seeing the sky, and then all of a sudden it's not a sky, it's a gray roof, it's tough to pick up the ball. It's that old thing, Danny, don't take anything for granted.
Yeah. Were you taught, Jimmy, on a ball that you went back on to turn your back to the infield, run to a spot, then find it?
I think you try to teach that. It was something that came natural for me. I felt that I just had a better feel for the contact and the height, and doing what I did for so long, from being a kid all the way till playing in the big leagues. It just came natural for me, but that's something that's very hard to teach.
Well, couple runs score, and it's 2-1. His best. Major League ranks among catchers this season. 5th in average, 2nd in slugging, tied for 4th with his 9 home runs. He had 2 yesterday, and 5th in RBI, and also the reputation of being one of the best defenders still in the game.
Talk about working fast. It's not only working quickly, but look how quick his windup is. So it definitely shorting your time frame at the plate, where you'd normally get in the box, and when a guy starts to go over his head or starts to move his back leg, you know you got a second or 2 or 3. I think you got a second with him. Like, really, when he takes a step back, you better be ready. That'll throw you off too with your timing.
Shallow center, and Kane with the catch. Take a look at that windup.
We could get a clock on that right there and see compare the 2 windups at some point today. That's quick. You step in the box, you look up, you know that even when he steps back with his back leg, you can actually, your eyes can still focus around. You can look down for a split second. You can move your hands a couple more times. With him, no chance.
It's less than 2 seconds from the time of the windup and the release of the ball. So to your point, very quick.
Just I mean, it's a mental grind. Then, as a hitter, you know when you put your feet in the box, you better be ready to hit.
And the 1-1. 2 strikes on Jed Jerko. Harrison Bader on deck. And that's hit out of play. Jerko hits a high fly ball out to left, backing up Thames, and he'll make the catch. Cardinals have the patch to remember Red Schoendienst, and the Brewers have a patch on their jersey for Davey Nelson. Very, very well liked. 12 seasons. He was an analyst for Fox Sports Wisconsin. Also a first base coach, 10-year major league career. Did a lot of charity work here in this town, including sitting on the board of directors for children in South America. And he's going to be missed. There's a liner, and it's caught by Aguilar off the bat of Harrison Bader. Cardinals go in order. We're midway through 2. Long, and another one has been added to the DL. That's Michael Wacha, oblique strain, hurt yesterday in his start at Philly, and John Gant has been called back up from Memphis. More on that. Let's check in with Jim.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Michael Wacha officially placed on the 10-day DL today with that strained left oblique. He flew back to St. Louis this morning to get looked at by the team medical staff and get an MRI. As of now, they don't have the results. They expect to get those results sometime tonight. The Cards did recall John Gant from Memphis. The GM, Michael Gurr, says Gant will be available out of the bullpen, but could be an option to take Wacha's start on Monday. He said Daniel Ponce de Leon is also an option for that start. Dan?
Yeah, Ponce de Leon was called up. He was in the pen and did not make his major league debut. There's a look at John Gant, who's got big numbers this season at Memphis. Manny Pena gets the start tonight. Now he's hitting .219, but the Brewers are 27-16 when he starts. They really like what he does defensively. ERA of 3.66 for the team when he's behind the plate.
It's always nice to have two guys you can throw behind the plate, because the thing about the pitchers, they don't want to throw to a second string guy. And even though you're in the big leagues, they still get comfortable with the starter. So to have two guys you can go to at any time is a huge, huge plus for the staff.
Eric Kratz, a backup. That's driven out to left center. Pham won't get there. And that'll be a double for Manny Pina. Missouri Lottery Fox Tracks in the double by Pina, and I could see my partner Jim Edmonds out of the corner of my eye. I could see you wanted Pham to go more towards the wall in center because of the way it was going to Karam.
Well, I didn't think he was going to be able to get to the. It's weird because you can hear so much up here, and I knew the ball was hit too hard. And for me, I was watching him run hard, thinking, okay, don't run so hard, just run straight back, just to try and kind of get him into the right spot, but without wasting too much energy.
Suter, little pop-up on the infield. Here's what we're talking about. In left and right center, the wall jets out. So you can get some odd bounces out there.
You're not supposed to recognize this, but I was just trying to get him to, I don't know, maybe I'm watching the game a little too close tonight. I was like, hey, don't run so far over there.
I can see you doing it.
But I got a really good angle from up here, so it's a lot easier from where I'm sitting right now than it is from down there on the field where Tommy's standing right now.
No doubt. And he played it well.
He did play it well.
Here's Eric Thames. 2 on our score. And a strike to Thames. He was the talk of baseball beginning of last season, coming over from Japan, and played in Korea as well. And intimidating force at the plate. Big man, and he was hitting for all kinds of power. Had a torn UCL in his left thumb. Just 3 for 21 in his return from the disabled list. A couple of home runs, and he struck out 10 times. Cardinals have a shift on the right side of the infield. Martinez has really been good in his career against Milwaukee. All time, his ERA is 1.95. And he's only one of 3 ever to do that against the Brewers. The other 2, Lindy McDaniel and Andy Messersmith, both in the late 60s and early 70s. Foul back. Runners in scoring position. The average against Carlos 141. That's Pina at second base. And the 1-2 is a fly ball into shallow left, racing in Ozuna, and he makes the catch.
Good changeup right there.
Games live on your mobile device. Download the Fox Sports Go app. Log in and stream the Cardinals. 2-1 our score. Be Munoz, Martinez, and Carpenter. Munoz sat yesterday after he had made 8 straight starts. And in those starts, batted .310. Jimmy, you're on Instagram.
Yep.
And
wondering where this is going to go.
Well, no. The man on deck is on Instagram too, and that's Carlos Martinez. And apparently he was spooked last night with a ghost.
Apparently. Stand at the Fister. You never know what you're going to get.
The fly ball into shallow center field. Lorenzo Cain with the catch. That's what he posted on Instagram.
For all the world to see.
You betcha. One out, nobody on. Here's Carlos Martinez. He's 5 for 20 this year with a home run, his first ever in the big leagues. And he's driven in 2. It's a chopper to third. Travis Shaw with it. And he makes the play. The Kia drive to success for Mike Matheny's club, the best division a record in the Central. And that's St. Louis at 23-14. Milwaukee, if they can win tonight, they'd be at 500 inside the division.
Looks like they're all beating up on Cincinnati.
A lot of teams are doing that.
Wow. 8 wins in the division. Is that what it was? That is not good.
Nope. Here's Carpenter, who homered his first time up on the first pitch of the day. His 13th of the year. Average now at 240 for Carpenter. And climbing. So here it is, back in the first inning. 1 pitch, 1-0. He's got 4 home runs in his last 5 games. Just outside, and it's 2-1. You don't see the bat really sweeping through the zone. It's more of a aggressive swing.
He's getting through the zone a lot quicker than he was about a month ago. That's something too as a hitter. When you're watching films, you can't really see that. You got to kind of figure something out. It's always looking at your swing, but there's always something else on the video that you got to be looking for. It creates that little bit of drag. Sometimes it's hard to find.
3rd strikeout for Sutter. 16 and older take home a Carlos Martinez mystery hair bobblehead courtesy of AT&T. And you don't know which one of the Tsunami's hairstyles you'll take home. Cardinals.com/promotions.
Which hairstyle is your favorite? Danny Mac?
Thinking.
You were thinking.
Yeah,
you
I'm
heard
thinking.
me.
I really was.
Depends if you're a baseball fan or a hairstylist fan. Because if you're a baseball fan, it's pretty clear. It's pretty obvious which one you would like. The plain one.
Well,
if the numbers were to speak for themselves.
I would go with the silver look. I happen to like that. And you?
I'm going to go with the regular, just the natural color right there. Though I have been a fan of the blue and the red.
With a shade of purple.
With a shade of purple. Had some off-season color going a couple years ago. I'm digging the tats. Tell you what.
Carlos comes up with it and the out.
This kid is no joke. You walk up to him in the clubhouse. I mean, a lot of the pitchers, you know, you see him on TV and whatever. See his forearms aren't super big. He is a big built kid. Like, he is solid, thick. You would not suspect the size of him when you got face to face.
Really noticed it. I brought it up with Al, and maybe his last start or a couple starts ago, we had a tight shot of him, and the body that he's got now is completely different than the one when he first came up and was working out of the bullpen. I mean, he's gotten himself in really good condition, and you're right, thick, solid, strong.
Well, kind of been messing around with the guys in the clubhouse today and watching this game, and I mean, he's been putting on some weight with Pete Prinzi in the weight room, because he's definitely outgrowing that shirt, if that's the same size he's been wearing since he got to the big leagues.
No doubt. Carpenter can't come up with it, and Kane is aboard.
Sometimes I'm wondering if Mark Walsh and Ernie are actually watching what the players are wearing, or they're just kind of doing their jobs underneath. Tough hop by Carp right there, a little in-between hop. Just kind of get that in-between hop, and it's almost a guess. You just got to have a feel for it. The ball hits anything in the dirt, you got no chance.
Ruled an error, and the 6th on Carpenter. Here's Shaw, who struck out back in the 1st inning. Lorenzo Cain on for the 2nd time, and he leads Milwaukee in on-base percentage at .443, and also in stolen bases with 15. He's only been caught 3 times, but 15 steals for Cain.
Pretty good athlete. He can run. He's a pretty big guy too. He's tall, lanky, plays good defense, and got some pop. I really like him.
Shaw, leader in doubles, homers, and RBI for Milwaukee. Aguilar on deck. Take a look at his hot zones, and more times than not, you see the red on anything in the middle. Leave it over the middle of the plate, and uh-oh. Slapped left center, and trouble. One hops off the wall. Kane being waved in. He'll score, and it's another double for Travis Shaw, and that makes it a 3-1 Milwaukee lead.
Not a bad pitch, down and away. Change up, but he just stays with it. That's right where nobody is. Nobody ain't. Hit them where they ain't, Danny.
Yep.
And there's Kane all the way around with ease.
Well, Aguilar could have been the odd man out once Thames came back, but he started 4 of 7 games at first base since Thames returned from the DL back on the 12th. Be tough to sit him with the type of production he's been providing. Double off the wall his first time up. That made it a 2-1 Milwaukee lead. Now 3-1 our score. And that'll find the seats out of play. Travis Shaw, that's RBI number 46 on the year. He stands at second base. He and Aguilar both in the top 10 of the National League in that department. Trevor Story of Colorado with 56 to lead the National League. And now a mound visit. And with that, we can tell you all about MLB At Bat, your #1 Cardinals app. Customize your experience to catch every moment this season. Home screen icons, features such as the MLB.TV Game of the Day, pitch tracking, in-game highlights, live radio broadcast, stats, news, and more. Download MLB At Bat today. It's already 5 hits given up and a 3-1 lead for Milwaukee. The 1-2 pitch struck him out. 3rd strikeout for Carlos Martinez. Here's Jonathan Villar, the switch hitter, lowest opponent average with runners in scoring position. Blake Snell, the Gio Gonzalez, Jacob deGrom, Max Scherzer, and Carlos Martinez. Hit out of play. Villar, pretty good numbers against Martinez. Home run, he's driven in 3, but a .379 average. Six of the 9 hitting from the left side of the plate tonight for Milwaukee. That's what you were talking about before, being a real key, that cutter in on lefty batters.
I think that to me is almost like establishing a fastball. If you can get the lefties to think about that cutter, it's literally a scary pitch for a lefty because you can't pick it up until it's too late. You start getting those guys to think about that, you can do anything after that. You can go away, go down. Start to see the lefty start to open that shoulder a little bit. He'll buy you the whole outside part of the plate, give you the change up wide open on the outer half too.
The numbers we were talking about, very good for Villar. He's behind in the count though, 1 ball and 2 strikes. And he just got a piece to stay alive. Well, it's first of 4 here tonight. It's not September, it is June, but this is a big, big series for the Cardinals.
For sure. This is, I mean, for the Cardinals, this is a little bit of catch up. And for the Brewers, this is a little bit of like supremacy. Like, you want to really show that you can be that team that's in front and really try to put some distance between you and the second and third place teams.
Gets through Molina.
The Brewers have had a history of starting off well and really not being able to sustain it for the entire year.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like that. There's a couple teams that are around the league that got good young talent and they get hot and they start playing really well, and then come July, they start to get either a little comfortable or the good teams start to figure them out, and then, you know, the record starts to shift, and then July, August, and September, it just gets worse and worse and worse. And it's hard to go out there and play 6 months without kind of any history of how that's going to play out. And you really got, it's a grind. It's a learning experience.
That'll be a wild pitch. What just happened to Carlos Martinez? Are you kidding me? The Cardinals, they don't want to go out there, be charged a mound visit, but you could go out there with your medical team if they thought it was a physical issue. Just lost the ball.
It's just a lack of concentration right there. I don't really believe that he had the ball loose in his hand. He just, I think he really got to where he wanted to be.
And it's a wild pitch. Boy, oh boy. And the ball that got through Molina, that was ruled a wild pitch. So 2 in that at bat to VR. And now Mike Maddox out to visit. It's been a number of years here with the Milwaukee Brewers. Well, the control issues, talked about it since coming off the DL, issues with walks. This case, a couple of wild pitches, now his first walk. And the batter is Eric Sogard. This is his first start since June 10th. He was sent to AAA Colorado Springs for 11 games back in May. Play all over the infield, left-handed batter, getting the start tonight. And that gets away from Jose Martinez, and things unraveling here for the Cardinals. This is ugly, and there's no other way to put it.
Well, hopefully this gets his attention, but you can see just a lack of concentration on a few parts here. And there's just really no excuse for that. The ball's either got to be caught or you got to throw the ball up around the letters. But yeah, this inning has been a little quick to get ugly.
And a fly ball into right. Bader under it and with the catch. 4-1 our score. FIFA World Cup seen exclusively on FS1 and Fox. Brazil and Costa Rica started off at 6 in the morning. Well, the Cardinals had a leadoff home run first pitch of the game, and that was Matt Carpenter, home run number 13. And since then it's been 4 scored by Milwaukee. In the misplay in left field by Ozuna as Pham hits it out to center. And Aaron Carpenter, a couple of wild pitches. Carlos Martinez, one of the wild pitches. Something you'd see Little League.
Just when I see stuff like that, all I can see in my head is watching TV with Euchre calling the game. One of those movies.
Major League.
Just a bit outside.
So 1 out, and here's Jose Martinez. 4-1 our score. Martinez did not seem to be comfortable in the first at bat. As he walked away after striking out, which he doesn't do that often. Shoulder looked to be slumping down a little bit, arm dragging, but to his credit, playing through the pain after the collision at first base yesterday. The 2-1 pitch. Two and two. It's spoiled by Jose Martinez. Here's the play yesterday on a ball that was stopped by Carpenter and then up the line, and Nick Williams collided a bit there with Jose Martinez, and he did stay in the game. 3-2 the count. And he hits a high fly ball out to left. Eric Thames under it and makes the catch. Less than 60 days. Major Golf's strongest field arrives in St. Louis, the 100th PGA Championship. The Centennial Club, a premium all-inclusive experience, remains the only way to guarantee a seat for the weekend rounds. For more information, visit PGAchampionship.com, and don't miss this monumental milestone in St. Louis. A strike to Marcell Ozuna. Grounded out to short. All of a sudden, Suter is locked in.
Little breathing room now that he's got a 4-1 lead, and he can afford to make pitches. Saw with Martinez how he was trying to set him up inside to get him out away. You can afford to waste some pitches and go deeper in the count when you got a 3-run lead. Instead of trying to attack and keep everyone involved, get a ground ball and get out of the inning, be a little bit more strategic in how you want to get guys out.
And Ozuna out in front. He's set down 11 in a row. His fastball velocity, the average speed, is right around 86 to 87 miles an hour. So he's the exact opposite of what we see in today's game, which is power pitching, mid to high 90s. Ozuna, a swing and a miss. Strikeout number 4. And it's a 4-1 Milwaukee lead. third time, and with more on that, let's check in with Jim.
And Gant was 5-1 at Memphis with a 1.65 ERA over 8 starts. Mike Matheny has been really impressed with Gant, saying an improved changeup has been the big key for him. Mike said before the game, Gant has done a good job of mixing things in. That up fastball and the changeup is the equalizer. It's become a pitch that hitters have to account for. Again, according to Michael Gersh, Gant is available out of the bullpen, but could be used to take Michael Wacha's start on Monday. Dan, that Vulcan changeup, however, a very, very good pitch for Gant.
Absolutely. So we still don't know about Monday in the spot for Michael Wacha as Manny Pena looks at a ball a little bit low. He had a triple his first of the year on Tuesday, and now a double tonight to center back in the second inning. The error by Carpenter and also Martinez gives the Cardinals 59 errors this year, which is most in the National League. The fielding percentage of .979. Philadelphia, the only team behind the Cardinals in fielding percentage. So got to clean that up.
You definitely got to clean that up. Matt Carpenter's ball is tough play. I don't even know if I'd give that an error half the time. But some of the other stuff has definitely got to be cleaned up. And errors are going to happen. But there's some stuff that goes on that sometimes might be just a little lack of concentration or just getting a little too, trying to do things a little too easy.
3-1. That is hit a ton out to left. 5-1 Milwaukee.
I don't know if that's a changeup or a nothing fastball. It's a ball ended up right down the middle, and it's usually what happens when you throw it there.
And a strike to Suter and a soft liner to third. First time up. The one thing the Cardinals need out of the start tonight from Carlos Martinez is length too. This is a bullpen that has been used an awful lot, and certainly yesterday when Michael Wacha had to be taken out of the game in the fourth inning. Slowly hit to second, and Suter is the first out here at the bottom of the fourth. St. Louis Cardinals baseball is brought to you by St. Louis Children's Hospital and Washington University Physicians, Guardians of Childhood, and by Toyota. Let's go places. Well, the Cardinals know it. I mean, inside that dugout, this is an important game, an important series, and now trailing 5-1. Top of the lineup, and Eric Thames. Prior to his thumb injury, hit .250 with 7 home runs in 22 games. That's out of play.
Tell you what, you said it earlier, but this guy, have you seen a better start by somebody come out of nowhere than him last year? I mean, this guy's got some pop. He can hit. Doesn't take a very hard swing, so he gets the bat through the zone. He's pretty consistent. It's tough when you see a guy like this get hurt, especially as much as he's been through.
Now a 2-2 pitch. Taken high. He shaved off the beard, that menacing look at the beard. Beats the shift, and a base hit into right.
trying to put it in play and finds a hole right through the middle of the shift. And it's a good piece of hitting. Slowing down with 2 strikes and trying to put it in play. You can be a home run hitter and you can still do that kind of stuff.
It's now 7 base hits for the Brewers tonight. It's late January and Milwaukee got aggressive. They signed Lorenzo Cain to a free agent deal. They traded for Christian Yelich, all in the span of a few hours in late January. Their ticket sales just exploded with the excitement of adding those two quickly to their outfield. Now the question will be, do they have enough pitching? And maybe those around baseball don't give the Brewers enough credit for their pitching. Might be better than most think.
Well, definitely tell you what, September, you'll know exactly how good they are.
You bet. They have produced 23 quality starts, second to last in all of baseball. What's odd is that they've been shut out 10 times. That's most in baseball with this lineup. Inside to Yelich.
Those are some pretty amazing stats too, especially for them being 13 games above 500.
Yeah.
You'd think that that team would be in last place with a couple of those key stats that you just threw out there.
The 3-1 pitch now to Yelich. Took some off it. 3-2. A lot of times the sign of good pitching is pitching in. Can you get in? And pitching in. We'll see if Thames wants to do some running here on 3-2. He's not running, and it's a walk. And I'm curious, do you think Carlos pitches in enough?
I think he does, but I also think that he is just erratic enough where they got to be careful, especially to the righties, because his ball runs so much. You don't want to hit people, especially on accident, especially as hard as he throws. You don't want to give the other team any kind of ammunition. And you know, it's tough. You have to be able to pitch in. I don't know if he's quite capable of really pitching in consistently. As good as he is, he doesn't have pinpoint control yet. You know, he still his fastball range is in 91 to 99. I mean, he's got a lot of different things still going on for him. That's what makes him so effective, but also that will take away from his control. I mean, you can't have the same windup and throw 92, 93 and throw 100. It's just, there's a little bit of a tweaking that, you know, that has to happen in order to generate that arm speed to get to the next level. And when you back it off a little bit or when you speed it up a little bit, you're not going to be in the same arm slot.
I don't know if he gets in enough on lefties. Now he's got a cutter, and we talked about that to neutralize left-handed batters. Righties, he seems to be able to carve up for the most part. He'll pitch in, and then the slider, guys will chase.
Well, they're chasing because they're afraid of that fastball in. So for the lefties, you have to establish that cutter or even that forcing fastball that stays on the inner half and not run back over the plate.
Here's the 0-1. And it's a base hit past Jose Martinez and into right field. Run will score. That's Thames, and it's now a 6-1 lead for Milwaukee. Cain has been on base 3 times.
Kind of see what I'm talking about right here. Look where Yadi's at, and look where the ball ends up. That's the difference right there, pitching in. If he throws that pitch where Yadi's glove is, that ball runs in off the plate, but he crosses over a little bit and kind of gives a little crossfire, and so that ball ends up on the outer half and then running back to the middle.
And runners at the corners now for Travis Shaw. It's still only 1 out.
And see the cutter right there? It's just enough for guys to not want to swing at it, because if I know you're throwing a cutter as a hitter, I don't want to hit it. I don't want to see it. I don't want nothing to do with it because it's just going to eat you up. So that bigger cutter slash slider right there, you get that reaction from the hitter because he doesn't want to have anything to do with it. As soon as you see that spin, you're out of there, and you make it look worse than it is because you don't want the umpire to call it a strike.
Sure.
Because you have to concentrate on being out over the plate because you have to try and cover everything else other than that cutter.
And the pitch count on the rise. It's at 81. They're starting to stretch now in the Cardinals' pen. What could be another short outing by his starter. The 1-1. Hammered but foul. Again, over the middle of the plate. Guys at this level, they just don't miss it. I got to wonder about him right now mentally, too. He's come off the DL. He looked to be tentative in that first start back. A lot of walks. Velocity at times has been down. I mean, all those things coming into play. And what normally is a dominant starter. That's Brett Cecil. And again, a 1-2 pitch by Carlos Martinez. Inside. For a team that relies a lot on their home runs, they've scored 6 runs tonight, with 1 of the 6 being a home run. Brewers score 45% of their runs via the home run. They come in bunches. 2-2 the count on Shaw. Now time is called, and Martinez flips the baseball, and oh boy. Runner goes, and a throw to second, and a stolen base. Lorenzo Cain with his 16th steal of the year.
Lorenzo got a good jump, not much of a chance for Yachty. Martinez a little slow to the plate, trying to get a little more concentration on getting to the strike zone. Instead, he stole that easy.
And the infield now brought in. Second and third, down by 5 and 1 out. Here at the bottom of the 4th. That's fouled back. Cardinals are 5 spots away from Martinez in the lineup. Suter is set down 12 in a row after a leadoff home run by Carpenter. And Cecil continues to throw in the Cardinals' pen. 3-2 pitch. Out to right. Bader with room. Makes the catch. His throw goes to third. Run scores 7-1. Cardinals and Papa John's teaming up to bring fans a deal that can't be beat. You purchase select seats for just $7 to see the Cardinals and Indians June 25th through the 27th. Visit cardinals.com/Papa John's. Jesus Aguilar. Back in the first inning. Martinez should have been out of the inning. Watch Ozuni scales the wall. No need to. He's back to the infield and it dropped. That led to 2 runs. What has been an ugly game for the Cardinals. 89 pitches now for Martinez. The 2-0. The 2-1 pitch. 2-2. Tuesday's win, Aguilar 2 for 3 with a walk, home run, double. 1 for 2 today. And he hits it into right center. Bader racing for it, and he's got it. 3 more runs for Milwaukee, and it's 7-1. (7-1) our score. Domingo Santana goes into right field, and I believe Yelich goes from right to center, and Kane is out of the game. So the change there for Milwaukee. The batter will be Yadier Molina. Brent Suter, solo home run, first pitch of the game. Since then, 12 straight, 4 strikeouts. No walks, no hits. 7-1 our score. Cardinals have had errors, misplays, wild pitches. Any way you want to look at it, it has not been a good game for St. Louis. Here's a 1-1. Molina, a pair of home runs yesterday. He's now up to 9 and moving up the charts in many offensive categories for the Cardinals all time. Molina 813 RBI, one back of the great Lou Brock. It's pretty exclusive company there on that list. Now he's hit by a pitch. And the Cardinals have their first base runner since back in the first inning.
Got that protective guard right here, and just take a little off the elbow. I'll take it right there off that guard.
Not quite Craig Biggio-esque, but
actually that was pretty close right there. We'll dive in there and just kind of gets underneath you so quick, you just leave your arms sitting right there to get hit.
His armor was ridiculous, how big it was, and he'd lean into pitches. He had it down to a science. Barry Bonds had that big protective gear on his right elbow. Jed Jerko hitting .364 against left-handed pitching. It's it out of play. Fly to left field, first time up.
Just missed one his first time up too. Tell he was a little disgusted running down the line. Get the ball in the air here, you know you got a chance. If you just miss it, it's a little frustrating.
Suter's the kind of guy that the Brewers, any kind of trouble by the 5th or the 6th, and he's out of there. They do not let him go deep into games at all. Usually coincides with the 3rd time through a lineup. Chopper towards third. It is a fair ball, and Jerko retired. Molina moving up to second on the play.
Talk about Travis Shaw's bat. Pretty good arm too, throwing the ball from third.
Cardinals have told Jerko to be cautious with his legs. He's had some issues, hamstrings and whatnot. Now Bader, who lined out and was robbed by Aguilar, back in the 2nd inning, looks at a strike. Bader also good numbers against left-handed pitching, and the reason why he's in the lineup tonight, obviously Fowler has struggled with just 3 hits against lefties this season. And the 0-1. Bader was hitless in the Phillies series. 0 for 5, made 1 start out of the 3 games. And he pops this one up. Foul territory. Aguilar. Shortstop Jairo Munoz. Dexter Fowler has moved to the on-deck circle. So that's going to be it. It looks like for Carlos Martinez. We'll see. Munoz could make the out, and they go back with Carlos for 1 more inning, try to get 3 more outs out of him, and if not, you got to pull the string and bring him back in and see if your offense can't do something.
You want to try and get as many outs as you can by your starter. We talked about that in the open. It's just they haven't had any luck with getting guys into the 6th and 7th inning.
That's a fair ball inside the first base line, down into the right field corner for Jairo Munoz, and he will stop at second base. Run scores, and that makes it a 7-2 Milwaukee lead.
It's a good piece of hitting right here. Look at this. Stays back, doesn't try to do too much. It's almost like he's trying to push it over to right field or even foul off a tough pitch. And because he stayed on top of the ball with his hands, he's able to hit a line drive into right and not slice the ball foul into the stands for a foul ball. Just a really nice piece of hitting.
There's Dexter Fowler. Boy, something positive needs to happen here for Dexter. Get him going one way or another. He looks at a strike. No sugarcoating it. It has been a extremely, and I mean extremely, tough year for Dexter Fowler. He's 3 for 35 as a right-handed batter. And the 1-1.
Sometimes when you just get up to a slow start, you try to push so hard to play catch up, you just come out of your shell and do things that are not natural for you, and you could just dig yourself a bigger hole just by not really being comfortable at the plate. Doing things you normally wouldn't do, trying to do too much.
The 2-2 pitch to Fowler. Carlos Martinez, his line 4 innings, 7 runs on 8 hits, struck out 3, walked 2, gave up a home run. And Fowler chops it left side to Shaw, and he makes the play. The Cardinals have been out hit 8-2, and they trail 7-2. Martinez done for the night. Carpenter a solo home run. Suter 5 innings and going. And Kane out of the game, went 2 for 3, couple of runs and an RBI. He was on base 3 times. Our Chevy call to the pen is Brett Cecil. This is where it gets interesting, Jimmy, is that, you know, here you are in the 5th inning. Your bullpen has been used an awful lot. You just called up John Gant. Last time he pitched was Friday. You know, you're thinking about the potential of starting him in Michael Wacha's position. but you may need innings tonight, and that may come down to Gant making an appearance in this game, and then you know, figuring out what you're going to do on Monday.
I mean, they've been able to work this shuttle back and forth to Memphis so well that sometimes you got a plan, and then sometimes you got to fly by the seat of your pants. And I know there is definitely a plan for John Gant, but you're right. There's going to be a time where you're going to have to give the bullpen out there a break, and you're going to have to bring up a starter to go a couple innings in a situation maybe you don't want to. But they got a plan. Just hopefully they can stick to it, and not giving them a whole lot to work with when the starter's only going 4 innings. That's tough on the manager.
Yeah. Jim talked about it on the pregame show and also his hit earlier. Ponce de Leon could be, Daniel Ponce de Leon could be a potential starter on Monday. Dakota Hudson, who's not on the 40-man roster but has had a very good year. Wonder if that's even thought about at this point. Connor Green, who was picked up in the trade with Toronto. We saw a lot of him in spring training, and he has now been moved from starter to reliever in the minor leagues. He's a guy that throws 100, so just some of the options that you think about potentially for the Cardinals.
And there's endless opportunities for everyone. Just you got to kind of find a plan that they can work with. I know Mo and Mike and staff up and down the minor leagues and the big leagues try to put together a good program so they can work their way to the big leagues. But you know, just watching this big league team with the way the pitchers have been shuffling and in and out and struggling at the front with the starters, sometimes that plan has to be rerouted and, like you said, fly by the seat of your pants a little bit.
Here's a 1-2 and a pitch in the dirt. Three and two the count on Jonathan Villar. This side of the plate hitting 297, 265 from the left side of the plate. And he pulls it to third, taken by Carpenter for the out. Want to buy or sell tickets at the last minute? Get the StubHub app and you can grab 100% MLB verified tickets till the first pitch or sell your extras to another fan. Get the StubHub app today. StubHub, official partner of the Cardinals. Official word on Lorenzo Cain, out for precautionary reasons, but a right hamstring cramp. One out and strike one on Sogard. There's Cain, and yeah, right there, grabbing that hamstring, little cramp, and be cautious with one of their best players.
Yeah, I feel like he's had issues on and off with hamstrings and quads. He's always that guy. Just maybe he's too fast for his own good.
Right. A good player. You know, he didn't take up baseball until early in his teen years.
Just a good athlete.
Yeah. 1-1 strike on Sogard, who is 0 for 2 tonight. It's a fine line when you try to get a pitcher right. They'll tell you, I need to pitch to get right. And a manager will say, I can't put you in a game because I'm trying to win.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. There's definitely a fine line.
That's what's happened a little bit here with Brett Cecil. And he's gotten the first 2 he's seen. Nissan drive of the game, Manny Pena, who is 2 for 2, a double back in the second, and this solo home run in inning number 4. Nissan drive of the game. Again, the line on Carlos Martinez, 4 innings, 7 runs on 8 hits, struck out 3, walked 2, and gave up that home run. Strike 1. Got to wonder where he's at right now. Physically, mentally. That pitch taken up and in. Pena hitting .336, couple of home runs this year against St. Louis. And the 1-1. The answer to our question, well, there it is. John Gant starts to throw in the pen. You deal with now and worry about Monday on Monday.
Well, you got an opportunity here with him. It's Thursday, bullpen day. Maybe he has a bullpen day coming up. I don't know where he's been as far as his days in AAA, but
Friday was his last start.
That's an opportunity right there for him to get a couple innings in bullpen day, and he's got plenty of time to come back on Monday as long as he doesn't throw too many pitches.
The 2-2 pitch to Manny Pena. 3-2. And that's taken inside. Brent Sutter will be the batter. He's only had 65 pitches.
Heads up, Dan.
He's right below us.
Right below you.
Jimmy, I anticipate that you would lunge for that baseball and protect me.
See how far I'm standing away from you right now?
You and the 8 gold gloves. Thanks a lot. Ah, yes, this is the ballpark in which I did save Al.
Do I need to tell you that those 8 gold gloves have a lot of dust on them right now? And so do my knees.
Would you have 13 surgeries?
Pretty close to that, yeah.
Did not go, and it's a count of 2 balls and 1 strike.
13 and still counting.
And counting. Three and 1. Full count. Right now, with Sutter doing what he's done tonight, you would figure at least an inning or 2 more. And the off day yesterday, they will be well rested going into this weekend for the final 3 games. That bullpen. He walks the pitcher, back-to-back walks. Tomorrow night, game 2 of the series. We'll have it for you. Jack Flaherty on the mound. Our Budweiser What's on Tap back on April 3rd. Received a no decision as he struck out 9 and went 5 innings. That's a look at your Budweiser What's on Tap. Junior Guerra will go for Milwaukee. Eric Thames. Cecil has no one else to blame but himself with back-to-back walks and now facing Thames with 2 runners on. No home runs, no RBIs against lefties this year for Thames. Breaks his bat, and the catch is made. And the Brewers will strand a pair. Top of the lineup coming up for St. Louis. To inning number 6. And back in the first inning, the first pitch of the night. They thought, all right, things might go the Cardinals' way. 1 pitch, 1-0. The Kubota power stats. He's trying to make a fan happy. There you go. That's a souvenir thanks to Matt Carpenter. The Kubota power stats, most leadoff home runs. And Carpenter now just 4 back of Lou Brock. Cardinals Hall of Famer Ray Langford with 7. Carpenter, Pham, and Martinez for St. Louis. Well, Suter here in the month of June, 2-1 ERA coming into the start right around 3. And the opponents are only hitting .217 against him. And he's been tough tonight on the Cardinals with just 2 hits. The solo home run back in the first and a double by Jairo Munoz. And that has been it for St. Louis. Shift on the right side of the infield. And a strike. Want to see some life, want to see something happen positive, get something going.
I feel like this leadoff home run was almost like the pitcher coming out and striking out the side in the first. Nothing good happens after that.
And a ground ball to the right side. And it brings in Tommy Pham. It's hard to believe, but two teams that you would think would be in the race of the Central Division, as Pham calls time, are having their final series of the year before the All-Star break here at Miller Park. Now there's 2 series remaining at Busch Stadium, but this is it in terms of coming to Milwaukee.
Yeah, it is a weird scenario, and normally if you were Milwaukee, you probably wouldn't be excited about that, knowing that you have to probably deal with the Cardinals at some point down the stretch run.
And the 2-0 is a fair ball. Shaw was near the line and makes the play. Pham is 0 for 3 tonight, and it brings in Jose Martinez. John Gant continues to throw in the Cardinal bullpen. On base plus slugging, a very important stat in the game of baseball, and Jose Martinez has done his part in that regard. He's had a good year at the plate. OPS, Martinez 885, 5th in the National League. Freddie Freeman just keeps on hitting for Atlanta. The Atlanta Braves with a 3.5 game lead start to play tonight over Washington and Philadelphia. Chicago tied with Milwaukee, 4.5 in front of St. Louis. Arizona 2-game lead in the National League West. 4 teams within 4.5. If you include San Diego, all the teams in that division within 7.5 games.
That's tight. I mean, it's definitely going to be interesting after the All-Star break, and I think that Atlanta team is one of those teams I was talking about earlier about being young. Kind of keep an eye on them and see if they can keep it going through the rest of the year, especially after the break. I think that right after the break, you start to see what some of those young teams are made of.
Here's a 2-2. Martinez on a hop to short. Sogard, low throw, and a nice play at first by Aguilar.
Oh, wow.
Saved him. John Gant coming on when we come back.
No matter where you serve or when you served, we stand ready to serve all military families.
So look at John Gant in our Chevy call to the pen. So what he's done this year, 7 games, 3 of those have been starts, a record of 1-2. And so it's our Chevy call to the pen. John Gant, the right-hander, in for St. Louis. Cardinals bullpen overall 13-14, an ERA just below 4.5. And as we showed in the open, that's one of the big differences between the two teams. Really identical in most offensive categories and starting pitching, but bullpen's much different.
Well, I think a little bit when you take the bullpen and you have to throw them out there early each day, you're definitely taking them out of their roles, so to speak. You're not giving the bullpen a specific role anymore. They're having to fill innings, and guys are not going out there and getting a specialty area. They're now going out there to eat up innings, and it's a totally different scenario of how they approach the game. If you got a guy up in the 7th or 8th and he knows he's got to get a hitter out or 2 hitters out, he can concentrate on what he normally does. When you get a guy up in the 5th inning, mentally he thinks, man, how long am I going to have to go? I mean, it's not an excuse, but it's definitely not what they're built for. They put guys out there because they're in specialty roles to get through a couple of hitters here, a couple hitters there, maybe an inning, and that's it. Not like, okay, I'm out there in the top of the 5th or bottom of the 5th, and I could be out here for 3 innings.
Yeah, I really felt, and at the plate it's Christian Yelich, I thought a strength and a major strength of this club was going to be the bullpen, especially with the addition of Greg Holland, which they signed him right before the first pitch of the season while the club was in New York. And unfortunately for John Mozeliak and Michael Gersh and Mike Matheny and the club, it's been a ton of injuries. Now, injuries part of the game, but these have been significant losses. You know, Gregerson, Lyons, Leone, Holland ineffective with the hip impingement. Looks like he's back on track, but it has not been what they thought. There's a strikeout of Christian Yelich. The BJC Healthcare difference maker and the AAA numbers, and this is what I was referring to before. Down at Memphis, dominating 5-1, 1.65 ERA, only 16 walks in 49 innings. Domingo Santana.
Believe it or not, it is still a different game down there. Definitely a tougher league up here.
It's a fine line, but you think about it, you know, you get guys maybe to go chase outside the zone. We're up here, they don't. And all of a sudden, then you got to go an inch or 2 in, and you're on the black of the plate or a little bit in on the plate, and guys hit that at this level.
Well, I'll tell you what else they do. They find out if you tip your pitches or not, and they find out what you can throw for strikes and what you can't. Between those two things, they'll figure you out quick.
It's back-to-back strikeouts for John Gant. That was 95 miles an hour. Brett Cecil had a scoreless inning of work. Carlos Martinez, for those that just joined us, 4 innings, 7 runs on 8 hits. There's a good changeup. And a ground ball hit to the right side, sliding for it. Jerko and Gant, a 1-2-3. Bottom of the 6th, 7-2 our score. This copyrighted telecast presented by the authority of the St. Louis Cardinals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. It's a beautiful night here in Milwaukee as the rain is gone away, but roof is closed. Not a beautiful night on the field for the Cardinals.
I was going to ask you, how do you know if the rain's gone away?
You can just look. You can see the paneling out there, Jimmy, and if you look closely enough, certain spots you can see outside.
The bomb shelter paneling?
Well, that's one way to look at it.
Talk about watching the ball fly. Wait till they open those things.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a vacuum. It sucks the ball out of the ball.
It's unbelievable. Ozuna at the plate, 2-2 the count. Suter pitching into the 7th inning, and a swing and a miss. Strikeout number 5.
You better watch it or he's going to get tossed. I know he's not happy.
It's the Gateway Honda home run inning. Gateway Honda dealers will donate $1,000 if the Cardinals hit a home run to the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Missouri. And he's 22 days short of his 36th birthday and had his 5th home run game of his career yesterday. One ball and one strike on Yadier Molina. Hit by a pitch and a run scored back in inning number 5.
I think when you watch a guy like Suter throw, he does really well, right? You said it gets a little bit beat up at kind of the 3rd time around, but if you watch what he's doing right now, he's throwing more balls. It's almost like he's gone out there, now he's gotten by so far, and now he's going to try and pitch or do more. Like we talked about, trying to do more sometimes in this game is not where it is. It's doing the same, doing just enough with your stuff that you have. And you cruise for 5 innings, and then you get into the 6th or 7th, and you think, okay, I got to start making better pitches to get through this game. Well, it's not the case. And you can see he's just trying to do a little bit more. He's trying to work the count a little bit better. A ball's a little bit higher. Sometimes that'll hurt you as much as anything.
Now Jed Jerko.
Instead of making that pitch right there.
High fly ball into shallow right. Domingo Santana with the catch. Jerko over 3 tonight. The Cardinals with only 2 hits.
I mean, clearly he's sneaky, right? He gets by with 87, 86. Fastball's up, changeup's down. He's been getting a little off the plate. He's been cutting the ball in. Then all of a sudden he's trying to make the pitch a little bit further off the plate. The changeup a little bit more down. The fastball a little bit higher. That's when you start losing it because guys start to think about what they're doing and they'll stop swinging.
Popped up again. Let's stretch. Suter. Back-to-back starts where he's gone at least 7. 7-2 our score. St. Louis Cardinals baseball is brought to you by Budweiser. Wherever legendary MLB moments happen, Budweiser will be there. And by Ford, going further so you can. Second inning for John Gant. And the first pitch swung on and missed by Aguilar. Gant struck out 2 and had a 1-2-3 inning. A ball and 2 strikes on Aguilar.
You can see why Gant has got good numbers in AAA. Explosive fastball, good changeup. He's able to throw the ball a little bit in, a little bit away. You see that fastball away right there is like a dart.
1-2 again. Inside, 2-2. Two pitch and a ground ball and a base hit. Cardinals had a shift on and they wouldn't have got to Aguilar anyway because Gant, you think that's probably 999 out of 1,000 times it's been an out to the second baseman, so he's not going to cover the bag at first. Watch this. All right, there's my whoa, gotta go.
The ball is hit straight at the second base spot.
Yep. What'd you say earlier? Hit them where they ain't.
Yeah, or just hit them where they should be.
That's the other part too.
Where they used to be for 100 years.
See, like when that kind of ground ball, your former teammate Chris Carpenter, I wouldn't want to look at him. You're cringing thinking about it.
Yeah, I don't even want to go there. I'm just going to leave that. I'm going to let it go. Not even with Carpenter, just the whole thing.
Here's a 1-0 pitch now to VR. Double play ball, but it goes through Jerko and into right field. And that'll be the 3rd error on the Cardinals tonight. Carpenter an error back in the 3rd. Carlos Martinez on a pickoff play, and now this one for Jerko. That was tailor-made. So runners at first and second, and the batter will be Eric Sogard. And a strike. Typically, Jimmy, in your time at least talking with pitchers and having such a great understanding of the game, typically in a side session, how much would a pitcher be throwing? How many pitches do you think?
You know what? That's an individual situation for a lot of guys, and especially veterans. Some guys air it out, which really confuses me because I would think it would be the opposite. And some guys just go down there and just work on their mechanics and work on things that maybe they did wrong in their start and just try to get the, get everything going again. The one thing that I haven't ever really paid attention to as much as I would have liked to would be the bullpen days. I know what they do, I know why they do, but I don't really know. It's such an individualized effort that day. You never know who's working on, what working on. And the philosophy behind it is different from every team.
Pham with the catch in center.
And I know guys that have thrown 2 bullpen sessions during the week, in between their starts, but it will be just, you know, working on their mechanics and just trying to stay sharp at probably 60–70%.
Yeah, some guys, it is interesting. I think Adam Wainwright comes to mind. Adam, a lot of times, just kind of go down and play catch almost, and just make sure release point was right, flip a curveball here or there, and gear up for the next start, kind of save the bullets, if you will.
And that's how I would feel about it, but other guys don't. Other guys go down there and really work and really give it some effort.
I bring that up because Gant now is at 25 pitches, I believe. Yep, 25.
And the other thing too, we talk about it all the time. You can't simulate this. This is way more than in the bullpen.
Right.
Even if you ask somebody, hey, listen, I need you to go down to the bullpen and really work on, let's say, getting 3 hitters out, it's not even close. You'll never even dial it up close to 100%.
And the 0-1 pitch by Gant with runners at first and second. Inside. Manny Pena with a double, solo home run, and a walk, on base 3 times. Outside of not being very good tonight, what are you picking up with Carlos Martinez? Now, I'm sure the fan base is, you know, it's going to be talked about ad nauseum tomorrow around the water cooler, but, you know, what are you seeing with, you know, your eyes?
I really don't know. I really don't know his personality well enough to understand what he goes through out there. You said you didn't know where he was as far as his state of mind or his physical wellness, and I just, inconsistency. I think inconsistency still with his windup, his delivery, his arm action, his velocity. I think that his ability to be able to throw 92 to 99 is one of his best attributes, and also probably one of the hardest things to manage at the same time. And managing a game out there with all the different speeds and arm angles and windups during a game is really hard to do, I would think. You got so much to worry about, so many pitches to throw, so many plays now, especially in the big leagues, having to hit your spot pitch after pitch after pitch is a grind as it is.
Almost hit the roof. Out to shallow left, and Ozuna with the catch.
I've heard a lot of pitchers over the years say that when they get to a certain spot in the lineup, they can take a deep breath and know that either they can get this guy out or they can't hurt the pitcher at that point. And it's such a big deal when guys have to battle 1 through 9 and not just battle the lineup, but also battle yourself. So definitely got to take a lot out of you.
Hernan Perez will be the batter. He'll pinch hit for Suter, and his night is through. The lefty was awfully good against the Cardinals with only 2 hits allowed, and the solo home run hit by Matt Carpenter.
And we talked about this the other day. I'm still in the old school. I still run him out there as long as I can run him out there.
Why not?
You got a lefty going out there, and teams having trouble with lefties. There is no way I'm bringing a right-hander in there with the conventional windup. Never know what can happen in this game.
So 2 outs and 2 on.
When you asked that question about Martinez, it made me think about some of the guys that I've faced in my day with just incredible stuff. I felt like you didn't get a pitch off when you were hitting against them. You didn't get a 92-mile-an-hour sinker occasionally to hit.
It's an infield hit for Perez. And Mike Matheny out. I didn't see if anybody was tangled up. Now Carpenter, after the play, pointed back to third base. saying the runner.
Well, they definitely did touch a little bit, but I believe the rule states that both people can go after the ball. So if it's accidental contact, I don't think there's anything that can be done. If somebody veers off, then there's an issue.
So the infield hit, and now Eric Thames with the bases loaded. And Thames hits it a top. Out to center. Fan back at the wall, and he can't come up with it. 3 runs will score. Thames racing to third.
It's like a changeup just out over the plate. What? He just missed this pitch right here. Tommy Pham does a nice job. Oh, it was over the wall, and he did a nice job bringing it back. He will not be happy with himself for not making that play, though.
And it's a 10-2 Brewers lead. Two balls and no strikes on Christian Yelich. Struck out against Gant back in the 6th, the first man that he saw. Two and one. Two balls and 2 strikes.
Looked like Yelich just a little bit in between. That's what that good changeup does for you. Thought he had a good read on it his first at bat, but you can't really get a good look at it this time through.
And Jerko with the low throw that Martinez can't pick. It's in the dugout. Another run will score. And it's an 11-2 Milwaukee lead. So 2 errors in the inning on Jed Jerko. Numbers 6 and 7. He also had the misplay on what should have been a double play ball. Pham's ball at center would have been a great catch, but in and out of his glove. And the inning continues. And so does Gant.
Now up to 38 pitches.
That's kind of the byproduct of the errors, is extending the inning, and the pitch count goes up. Cardinals have been out hit 11-2 and trail by that score. Third time this year the Cardinals have given up 10 or more runs. Last time was on Friday against the Cubs, a 13-5 loss. Check swing, Gant applies the tag and the out. The inning comes to a close. They pick up 4 more. Milwaukee 11-2 the score. Taylor Williams is the new pitcher for the Milwaukee Brewers. After Brent Suter, the starter tonight, walked one, hit a man, struck out 5, and allowed 2 base hits. One of those being a Matt Carpenter home run. Williams, there's Chevy called to the pen. Hernan Perez stays in the ballgame, and he'll play left field. Well, a game like this begs the question, what does Mike Matheny do? Whether it's after the game tonight, before the game tomorrow, is there a closed door meeting where things get aired out, or he lets it out too? But unquestionably, this has been one of the worst losses of the year. If it stays like this, with the misplays, lack of hitting, Martinez ineffective, the 4 errors, it's been sloppy. And I think he would say it, and the players would say it. It's unacceptable. You'll have bumps in the road, but things are trending now not in the right direction. You gotta stop it.
So much was made of this next week or two playing good teams.
That's my point.
They didn't get started in the right foot at home and lost 2 out of 3 against the Phillies. Yeah, this is not a good game right here. So
3-1 on Munoz. Cardinals with 28 errors in the last 23 games. So we'll see. 3-1 pitch now to Munoz, and a base hit into right. This Tuesday, June 26th, it's Cancer Awareness Night, presented by Siteman Cancer Center and Siteman Kids at St. Louis Children's Hospital. Purchase a special theme ticket, receive a Cardinals cap with your choice of cancer awareness colors. Tickets now at cardinals.com/theme. Greg Garcia will pinch hit. Your experience, Jimmy, and you played on veteran clubs with the Cardinals. Is it a player that steps up, stands up, says something tonight, team dinner, whatever the case may be, tomorrow before the game, after the game tonight, maybe now in that dugout?
all of the above.
Yeah, it's probably happening as we speak.
Well, I mean, you don't want the manager to take control because you never know what's going to happen. The players have to take control of themselves, and police themselves. But if you leave it up to that man, you might not get dinner tonight. And you might be here at noon tomorrow. You never know what can happen when the manager's upset.
And a base hit into right field. Garcia off the bench, back-to-back singles against Taylor Williams. Plaza Tire Service Foxtrots.
Nice swing by Garcia right here. Fastball down the middle, puts a good swing on it. I'll tell you what, I like that Jairo Munoz is at bat. Gets basically flipped. Comes back and gets a little attitude and hits a line drive to right. That's the kind of player you want to see right there. Wake up call and do something about it.
If the Brewers would win tonight, they'd be in sole possession of first place. Cubs losing to the Reds 6-2 earlier today. Cardinals could not come back. They would drop to 5.5 games out. And St. Louis would be 3 games above the 500 mark. So we'll see. I mean, a lot of things can happen between now and tomorrow, and obviously later tonight. Without question, it is a frustrated bunch right now.
Maybe we'll get some more ghosts tonight.
Maybe so. Runners at first and second. And Carpenter, who is 1 for 3. And the problem is, too, is that now you're starting to get deep into the season. I mean, that's the other thing you got to remember. You say, well, it's only June. You're getting to late June.
I'm saying it's already June.
Yeah. And after the All-Star break, it seems to go fairly quickly. You turn the page on the break and you're in late July, and then you got 2 months to go. And it's, as we've seen, not an easy road to jump 2 teams, much less catch 1.
It's not like you're having fresh legs either. Dead of the summer.
And the 2-0 pitch now to Carpenter. 3-0. Tommy Pham at the on-deck circle. And Williams struggling right now here in the top of the 8th. And he draws a walk, and the bases are loaded. Cardinals in this tough stretch of baseball. Began with Chicago last Friday, and then the Phillies. Now Milwaukee for 4. Cleveland when we get back to St. Louis, the Atlanta Braves, and the Arizona Diamondbacks. Well, Pham is hitless today, but he loves hitting at this ballpark. 18 games overall, .338 average, and 6 homers.
They like my philosophy about bringing in the right-hander after the left-hander's been dealing for 6 innings.
I think you were on it. Tommy here at Miller Park in big numbers. Here's an 0-1. A ball and a strike. Looking for his first grand slam. The 1-1. 2 balls and 1 strike. The 2-1 pitch to Pham with the bases loaded. 3-1. Nobody up and throwing currently for the Brewers in their pen, and that may change here very quickly. Three and 2. Comes back to get him, and a strikeout of Pham. Jose Martinez grounded out back in the 6th inning. He's also flied to left and struck out. At one point, Suter, the starter for the Brewers, set down 12 in a row. And there's ball one. He's only come up with the bases loaded one time this season. In his career, he does own a grand slam. That was against the Cincinnati Reds at the Great American Ballpark. Jimmy, what's it like from a player's perspective here? I mean, 06, that was a frustrating year at times with the 2 or 3 long losing streaks with a talented team. And obviously, you put it back together.
Couldn't really get it going. A lot of injuries. Pretty similar to this situation. Guys were up and down and pitching and on the field, and it was just. I think 03 was the same way. We just couldn't put it together. You know, 03 we had a really good team. You just never know. You know, for some reason things just don't click. You don't get breaks. A couple breaks here and there, a couple plays here and there could change your whole season.
1-2 the count on Jose Martinez. And he chops it foul.
Definitely can't give other teams extra runs, extra outs, multiple innings. It's one thing that teams in the past had really, really good defenses. You talked about leading the league in errors, and that's just not typical of the St. Louis Cardinals.
Yeah. One ball and 2 strikes. Bases loaded, 1 out. Here at the top of the 8th. Here Martinez up here. Whoa! Look out. 2-2.
I don't know if that's Martinez or sometimes you'll hear the catcher scream.
Yeah. And the 2-2 pitch to Martinez. Double play ball. 6-4, 3. Bases loaded, nobody out. The Cardinals do not score. That day, 30,000 fans 16 and older take home an adult bucket hat courtesy of Coke. Kids 15 and younger entering with a ticket receive a kids bucket hat courtesy of Powerade. Tickets at cardinals.com/promotions. That's right, that's your new pitcher, Greg Garcia. saw Jed Jerko. This is our Chevy call to the pen. We saw Jed Jerko as a position player pitch, and Greg's got to make sure he's got nothing on his pitching hand.
He's got razor blades in his pocket, pine tar, rosin. He's got to take all the white stuff off.
Yep.
I'd be a little serious with you right here. I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't make him cut his sleeves, because he's got that white Nike symbol. If somebody says something, he'll have to cut his sleeves, or he would have to color that in.
Well, the umpire did come out and look at the sleeves during the commercial break. I don't know if you noticed that. So good pickup by you. But yeah, he did look at the sleeves and then went to the fingers.
Oh. Tell you what, this is not fun for a hitter. You don't want to be the guy making outs when this guy's throwing 45 miles an hour. 62.
And the 2-0 pitch now to Travis Shaw. Here's a strike. Like the pace right now of Garcia. This is below batting practice speed.
I've always wanted to be able to throw in a major league game. Look at the infield. Gotta love it.
And he just slaps it the other way.
That's kind of the problem with the shift and a guy throwing this slow, like in batting practice. In batting practice, you could hit the ball anywhere on the field that you want to hit it. So if you really pay attention and wait, like he does, he tries to hit it over there on purpose.
Garcia kind of looked at him as he was running down the first base line, as if to say, are you kidding me?
It's a smart play right there, though. You don't want to be the guy to pop up to the catcher or to the infielders. I've been there. It's all fun and games with Garcia pitching, but when you're hitting, you don't want to give away an at-bat.
There's Jesus Aguilar. You know, some infielders will go on the mound and you'll watch him and they'll actually try to air it out. But Garcia, to his credit, just a little BP fastball. How about a double play? He gets it. 5-4-3. You know, if you're Greg Garcia, you're saying, look, I'm not about to get hurt doing this.
Smart. I mean, he's a key member of this team, and you're right. He's going out there to try to get some outs and to save his bullpen, but knows no reason to get hurt. I like the fact right there he told Martinez to give him back the ball and not throw it around. Let's go. Give me back the ball. Let's keep going.
I don't know how many times in a ball game that has 9 potential relievers that a manager has gone to a position player. The Cardinals are carrying 9 relievers coming into this game tonight. 0-2 the count on Jonathan Villar. You got Jordan Hicks and you've got Greg Garcia. Fly ball into right, and Greg Garcia has himself a scoreless inning. Gave up a base hit, then got the double play and a fly out. Good job, Greg Garcia. Chevy called to the pit. Got a couple lefties out there. One is their closer many times, Josh Hader. And then here is Dan Jennings, a little change of pace from him. 34 appearances coming into play tonight. Last pitch Tuesday against Pittsburgh, went 2/3 of an inning. Gave up a run. And he'll be called upon to get the final 3 outs in this game. It'll be Marcell Ozuna, Yadier Molina, or check that, Francisco Pena, and then Jed Jerko. Ozuna had words with the home plate umpire back in the 7th inning, to the point that Mike Matheny had to make sure he didn't get kicked out of the game. It looked to be a cordial conversation.
It's easy to diffuse that really quick. You just go back up there and you say, hey, I looked at the video, you were right, or I looked at the video, that ball's off the plate. Just want to let you know.
And a ball down low and in to Marcell Ozuna, the Hyundai pitch arsenal. On the lefty, Dan Jennings. One ball, one strike. Popped up. Catch made by Pena for out number 1. The Budweiser plays of the game, and the lefty, Brent Sutter. Outstanding job tonight. 7 innings, a couple of hits. You think about how it started. First pitch of the game, a solo home run, and then after that he set down 12 straight, and he goes 7 innings.
Definitely didn't think I would see this outcome after that first pitch.
No, sir. And the batter is Francisco Pena. The Brewers, if they hold on, will be 11-5 in their last 16 home games. Numbers on Pena, filled in for Yadier Molina, and did so admirably. Here's the 0-1 pitch. And that's pulled foul. This would be interesting to hear from Mike Matheny tonight and just kind of get a feel of where he's at with his team and his post-game comments. Coming up on the post-game show. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Definitely stay tuned for that.
Yeah.
Scotty and Al breaking this one down.
Two hit softly to second. 2 away.
Tell you what, though, when I'm doing the post game, I'm actually interested to hear what the players say. I think that'll tell you a lot about what's going on the field at the time, and when pitchers are good and pitchers are bad, especially when bad things happen. That's the best time to listen. You want to hear the reasoning, the explanations of what's going on out there, or is it just one of those days?
Cardinals down to their final outs. That ball's down. Extra bases now for Jerko on his way to second. Dug out of the corner, and he extends the ball game with a 2-out double.
This was a long day, but Jed staying with this ball right here. And he's going good. He hits this ball down the line like this, especially this breaking ball, staying back.
Strike one on Bader. A little bit low. Chopper hit towards short. Bader will beat it out. Extends the ball game.
And Bader's speed right here what makes him so exciting. No chance. As soon as he hits that ball, you know there's no chance anyone throws him out.
Nine-run game and hustling down the line. You appreciate that. 11-2. Runners at first and third now for Jairo Munoz. And there's a strike. Nothing in two. And that'll be a base hit into center field. And Bader hustling all the way to third. Makes it an 11-3. Milwaukee lead.
Another nice swing by Munoz right here. Woke him up a little bit in his last at bat.
He has 2 of the 7 hits for the Cardinals.
Now you got the pitcher hitting.
One of the better outings for a Cardinal tonight.
Nobody in the deck circle.
And a ground ball to short. They should do it across the diamond. Picked by Aguilar. And the game comes to a close. 11-3 the final. The Brewers take game 1. Coming up, Missouri Lottery Cardinals live. Al Roboski, Scott Warman standing by. All the post-game reaction as well.